Hi Rocco, it's Daniel. I've decided to go ahead and do the video like I said I was going to, and hopefully show some of the items that I've come across from the Dollar Tree, as well as some of the ideas I've had that might be useful to you. Now, before I begin, I want to say that I've got this video set on hidden, so basically only you are getting this video link. So if you like the ideas and you feel like they need to be shared, you're welcome to link this video for others to view. But basically I made this video for you and with the intention of showing these ideas to you. But if you don't mind others seeing it, you're more than welcome to share it with others. And I might even eventually set it public. So if there are users who are viewing this that aren't Rocco, hi. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start showing you some items. Now I'm going to let you know that these items come from either Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, or Walmart. Now I'm going to let you know not all of these items are going to be $1. Some of them are like $5 and above, but I'll cover that towards towards the end. But a bulk of these are from the Dollar Tree and the Family Dollar. So, and of course I do understand that not all stores are alike. So if you happen to have a Dollar Tree and it doesn't have any of these items, it could be possible that the reason why they don't have the items either is that they are a different store and they have different stock, or that or some of the items may no longer be there and may have been sent out of the store a long time ago. In fact, when it comes to certain items, I'll point out which ones that I've had with me for a while, so that way, if you're trying to look for them, you don't have to try to bother trying to look for them in the store because they might not be there. Anyways, let's get to it. I'm sorry that I have to pause real quick here. The reason why is because when I was recording the audio, when I was recording the videos, I realized my audio was not doing very well. So I'm going to have to try to repeat what I was saying as best as I can with utilizing this voiceover. And I wanted to apologize in advance for anything that seems out of place or if things seem out of sync, because I wasn't really scripting it as I was filming, much like how I'm not scripting this while I'm recording. Alright, here we go. So the first thing we're going to be doing is covering the last item I suggested, and particularly because of the confusion that came up from when I suggested it in chat. Now, as you can see, these are not 6-inch action figure vehicles. I mean, these are like basically Hot Wheels scale, Matchbox scale vehicles. They're die cast, and they are pretty cool and have several uses. I've already figured two out of the box. As you can see, this is the Masato Fresh Metal die-cast vehicles. They're, I do believe, in 1/64 scale. And they have both old and new vehicles, which, I got these two out. Now, basically the idea behind these originally that I had was that you could use these as remote control vehicles for 6-inch figures. Here, let me break out, let me introduce you to a friend, someone you probably hate. Say hey to Deadpool. Deadpool, stay up, okay? Okay, stay standing. Come on. Deadpool, don't be a dick, stay standing. Deadpool, stay standing. He's gonna fall over. I'll hold him up anyways. Okay, as you can see, it's a pretty sizable, vehicle for a 6-inch figure. So that's why part of it said that it could be a remote control car for a 6-inch figure, because some remote control cars are that big. You would have to scratch build a remote to go with it, but here's the interesting thing. One of the reasons why I chose these instead of a Hot Wheels or Matchbox is that you can't see inside the cabs, which is useful because most remote control cars utilize windshields that you're unable to see through. Now, if you actually I'll use this one as an example. Now, if you look closely here, you can probably drill a hole right here. Well, not in the body, because the body is made of die-cast metal. But if you drilled a hole right into the plastic here, you might be a small hole. You might be able to fit in either some floral wire that's available through the Dollar Tree, or
even a paper clip, you know, like the kind that has like that plastic covering over it. You can insert it in there, and voila, you have yourself an instant remote control car. And like I said, all you'd have to do is scratch build a remote with it. Now, as you can see, the thing is not fully detailed, which means it's not fully painted. I mean, here, I mean, even with the Dodge Charger, I mean, as you can see, the body's painted, the front grill is painted, but the headlights on the Mustang isn't, so it gives you enough wiggle room to add detail if you want, or you can leave it basic because there are some remote control cars that are like this. Now, and of course, I mean, this could also be used as like a kid's toy. I mean, instead of it being a remote control car, it could be like maybe a kid's action figure vehicle. All you'd have to do is figure out how to make figures on the same scale, so that way you can be able to have them next to one, and you can say, oh, it's an action figure vehicle, and you could have this sitting on display on a shelf in a kid's room, or on a man cave, or in someone's man cave, or even someone's garage. Oh, that reminds me, there's something else I'd like to show you. Just give me a second. I gotta get it out. The bag held me up at this point here. I'm just letting you know. So I apologize for the delay on getting the item in view. Okay, and hold on, I think I got it. Okay, here we are. Air Force. These are, I mean, you get two a pack for $1, and these are actually, very useful. I mean, they again, these can be used for like a kid's room, or someone's model room, or even a figure building a diorama of a diorama. It's completely up to you. And of course, figured it'd probably look. I mean, it looks a little bit more like a GI Joe, a small scale GI Joe aircraft in the 4-inch figure scale. But I figured these could be useful details, like I said, for either kids' room, a diorama room, or maybe a man cave. It's completely up to you. Now on to the next one. Now I know you're probably already familiar with the figure skateboards here, and of course I've kept Deadpool in, so for size comparison. Now these actually found at the Dollar Tree in the toy section, and of course everyone knows about these finger skateboards because their popularity. I think it was in the either the late 2000s, early 2010s. I can't remember, but it's a really nice looking board that's perfect for 6-inch figures. I originally thought that these. I mean, here, let me show you this. You might be able to even customize them. Backside on this side, it doesn't have anything, but on this side, you might be able to use like a. Here, let me see if I can get that off. Can I? No, I can't. Okay, all right. So this is how it's unremovable. You might have to sand a little, but you may be able to take like sticker paper, print out a design, and cover it with your own unique design. So you could probably have like a Rocco the Toy Bookie style board to go there. And of course, it's really nifty. I mean, you're actually getting 2 skateboards for the price of 1. In fact, here, let me show you how it scales, how well it looks with the 6-inch figure. Yeah, see that? Deadpool would be running around on this thing if he didn't have his trusty Vesper. Anyways, this right here, you might have to add a little detailing to the wheel to make it look like an actual wheel. You might be able to customize this in any way. In fact, this right here is where I realized that this actually is not a set. I thought it was 3 boards, but it actually is 2 boards, and that what I have in my hand is the cover that goes on this. But you might be able to use it to customize your own skateboard. And I've thought about taking like the pieces of it and creating like a replica of Marty's iconic skateboard from the first Back to the Future film.
Now, these 2 items are ones that I've found in the toy section. Now, of course, as you can see, they are a toilet and a tub. Now, these were meant for like the Barbie scale size, dolls. But when I looked at them, I'm like, I wonder if these could be useful for 6-inch or 8-inch figures. Now, of course, the toilet is a little big for Deadpool, unless you want to sort of stick them in there and try to recreate the scene of Viewer McGregor coming out of the toilet from Train Spotting. but it's still pretty big for him. And of course the tub is also big for him. But it works pretty good for him. However, I got another guest appearance who can actually show you exactly how good this tub can be. Say hi, Michael. Oh yeah, I forgot, you don't talk. Anyways, as you know, Michael is an 8-inch action figure. And look at this. Perfect. He fits in perfectly. I mean, it's perfect enough scale, big enough for him to fit into it. So I think maybe the Laurie Strode figure might be able to fit into it. I think maybe your Camp Counselor Customs might be able to fit into it. So if you wanted to do like a Friday the 13th diorama of someone chilling out in the tub, you could have your Jason Voorhees sneaking up behind them. Now, of course, the drawback is that there's not much detailing on the tub. This right here, I mean, if you look at the bottom, you might have to do a little bit of filling in on that. But I think you might be able to sand this flat. I'm not 100% sure on it. You might have to try sanding it down. But if you sand it flat, you might be able to add your own sort of custom-made fitting to it, so that way it looks more like an actual real tub instead of something plastic. But these are made by American Plastic Toys. There's their logo right there. And like I said, you can find these in the toy aisle of the Dollar Tree. And also, if you're needing cheap doll clothing that you can modify to fit your figures, the same aisle also has some of the female clothing, as individual packaged items. They're more like, for career kind of stuff, but they're not really great. But I figure, I'll toss that out there for you in case if you're needing something like that.
I'm pausing again for a brief moment just to give you a little bit of an update. I recorded this segment before I ran into town to go to the Dollar Tree again today, and I actually was looking around in the toy aisle, and I actually found they actually have individual packs of Barbie brand doll figure clothing. So I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know if you ever need anything for your figures, but I figure it'd probably be easy to buy them and modify them. But like I said, I don't know if you're able to, if you do the modifications on your figures clothing or not. But it's made out of cloth, and it's very useful. And just figure I'd give you the heads up on that if you're needing those kind of things. And back to the video. Now these are items from the Dollar Tree's Arts and Crafts section. I figure these items could be useful in some way or another, and I'll sort of go one by one on what these could be useful for. First off is these wooden planks. You get, basically these are thin plywood. Here, see? They're plywood. And basically you get 6 in a pack, and I got 2 of them myself, so because you never know when you might need them for. And I figured these could be useful, like maybe creating like an action figure base, or maybe even just a corner of a room for a small scale diorama. Now, Dollar Tree does have stencils. This I actually picked up from another Dollar Tree from a nearby town a few months back, so I don't know if they still have this particular one, but I got it because you never know when you might need to, have some stars on a diorama for some reason, and of course I figured this is useful. But they do have the tip plates that are round. This right here is an embossing stylus. Basically, this is used to sort of emboss fabric, so that way it has like a design that pops up. I figured that for this, you could actually use this to sort of score your foam, the foam that you use. So that way you don't have to worry about using a knife to cut into it. You could actually utilize this to sort of create the dents and scratches into the foam without having to worry about making a dull blade. Now this right here is I figure it might be useful. It's called Floral Wire. I found this in the flower section. It comes in 6 feet, and it's got different colors. This one's gold. They have a red and a green and a purple. Now, for me, I figured that these could be used for like conduit, like if you're doing like an electrical box on a bare wall and you have a pipe going down to it, you can use this. Or for me, I'm planning on actually using it as an armature for, well, then toying around with the idea of making like a tentacle, with the use of the hot glue and using this as the internal wiring that so it makes it posable and bendable. But I'm sure you could probably figure out what to use it for. I mean, to me, it just seems like it's a useful little bit of information. And they also got like a thinner one as well that's available. Now, this right here are storage containers. You get a pack of 8, all for $1. Now, I figured that for this, you could probably utilize this to store paint. I haven't stored paint in it myself, so I have no idea if it works or not. But another useful thing is that this could be used as a detailing for like a mad scientist lab. You could probably have like 8 individual 6-inch figureheads in these bottles, and you could have them sit them on a shelf in the background of like of a mad scientist lair or something like that. I mean, I'm sure you could probably figure out what you can do with it. I mean, it's like I said, I don't know if it works for paint, but I mean, I bought it for paint. But figure, again, mad scientist jars, on a shelf. Now, this next that I actually picked up on, on sale. This right here is a ribbon. It's Easter style ribbon. You get 3 yards for it for $1. And I figured that this could be useful in scratch building, like because let's say you're doing like a beach kind of setup. This particular style looks like it could be useful for a beach chair. I also got this right here, the sheer ribbon. I figure you could probably utilize that for like a belt or something like that. You never know when you might need it. This jumped out at me because I figured this could be useful. This is a ribbon. Here, let me try to pull the plastic off. Okay. As you can see, it looks a little bit like dark brown rope. And I figured that maybe you could use this like as rope for like your diorama, like let's say you're doing like a pirate ship or anything that requires a rope, or you can probably utilize this as like a clothesline for like a backyard diorama. In fact, I actually got something in the next video that shows that. Now these, I wasn't going to show these, but I figured this might be sort of useful. These are beads, and these have like flowers. I don't know if I'll do anything with them or not. But these beads seem like they could be useful for detailing. In fact, I know a guy named Lee Hardcastle that does claymations that are not for children. I'll post the link up in the above. But this right here, I mean, he uses these particular ones for eyes for his stop motion figures. But I figured that these could be useful as like maybe door handles. I mean, yeah, because I mean they're round. You might have to fill in the hole that's in them. Or these can be used as as like replacement ball sockets for like the figures that have heads that the ball sits on. But anyways, these can be useful even as like props. Like I don't know if Mezco or I mean NECA will ever make a Phantasm action figure or not. But if they do make any kind of action figures from the Phantasm movie, these could be useful as like scratch built spears from the film to go with a tall man action figure. So that way you could expand his army of flying spears. But like I said, I mean this is just a quick toss out. But you get all this for $1, and that's not bad. I mean, like I said, door handles, spears, maybe replacement parts for a figure. I don't know. It's completely up to you. I'm sure you can, if you ever need any of these, you can easily find them. I mean, like I said, I also found this in the arts and crafts section. This next item I've already talked to you about. These are wooden pallets. I told you about these a short time ago. I got 6 of these each. I actually found these when someone had one of these in their cart. And I said, look, I'm sorry to bother you. Do you mind if you tell me where you got this from? And they're like, oh, it's in the arts and crafts style, aisle down on the bottom shelf midway. I'm like, thank you. And I got 6 of these, and I got 6 of these. Now, and of course, these are both listed as wooden pallets here. Just to show you the tags on them. In fact, when it comes to this one, this was actually confusing to me because I never thought the wooden pallets would have like these thick ends like this. I thought normally there would be like a gap in between the outer ones and the innermost ones, but that's just me. But it's for $1. It's quick, it's easy. You can easily modify it, and you don't have and it saves time without not having much of a headache with it. Now this right here is the when I bought these are really interesting. These don't really look like pallets to me. When I looked at them, I'm like, huh, you know what this is? A fence. It can be a fence for a 6-inch figure. If you're wanting to do like a backyard diorama, this looks like it. Now originally I thought that you could probably take the planks off and then readjust them, but by the way it looks, they're glued in and they're tacked in. At least the two on the end are. But yeah, I mean, this could still be useful as a fence, and you can stain it or you can paint it, and it looks like it's great for 6-inch action figure style, or you can just use it as a palette like it was. These I have not introduced you to yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. It's a chalkboard and a dry erase board. Now these are they're the same style. Basically, they sit. Hold on, let me check real quick. Checking to see if they go. Okay, yeah, they both go by the same name, but the chalkboard is not really made of the material for chalkboard. But when it comes to the dry erase board, I had an idea for these that might be useful. I mean, you can use them as they are, but there is another idea that I had. Basically, here, I bought a previous one that I've already removed all the wooden pieces off of. It was a pain in the ass to do, and of course it's just to give you a heads up, it's a little time consuming, and it does sort of take off a little bit of the cardboard on the back. But I had the idea of this. You could take this and use this as a dry erase board for your dioramas. Like, for example, if you cut the bottom off, like an inch off the bottom. Oh, here. If you take the dry erase, the chalk one, and you remove all the wooden pieces and cut the bottom of it off, you can use it as a chalkboard for a classroom, or even a dry erase board for a classroom diorama. Okay? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Or you can cut it in half, and you have two pieces that you can use for like an office diorama. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Or you can do it like this. Cross-cut it, and you have 4 small pieces like this, and you can utilize it for like a G.I. Joe scale dry erase board, and they can be functional. You can still write on them. And I mean, I'm doing the cross one, and I'm planning on utilizing a small piece like this one for a diorama that I'm thinking about working on. But it's a functional. You can take a dry erase marker, write on it, draw on it, and you can have it like sitting up and cut the bottom off, and you can have it up on a classroom or a lab, or even anything where you need to be. And each one is $1. So now all of these are, in between the last few items that I got out of the Dollar Tree and the first few items I got from a Family Dollar. The first thing I'm going to show you from the Dollar Tree are these Scalloped Containers. Now, the reason why I got these is because I figured, they're clear plastic, only $1 each, and I figured you could probably utilize the plastic in this. You could probably cut the side of it off, cut the whole side of it off, and you can utilize the clear plastic as like the window pane for a diorama, or you may be able to use it for scratch building smaller pieces of, out of plastic. It's cheap, and look how much material you can get from this. That's like at least 6 windows that you can use, or 4 at minimum. A 6-inch figure can fit in there, but I wouldn't recommend using it for display. I got 3 of these, so I have plenty enough material to use. I can use them for like whatever I need them to be. Now, this right here is a palette knife set. I don't know if you need these or not, but basically these are like used by painters to sort of scrape on paint. If you've ever watched Bob Ross, you've seen him use similar stuff, scrape on his oil paint onto his paintings. And I don't know if it's useful to you, but I figured I should let you know about it. Now, this right here I got on a discount sale. These are erasers. These are bunny erasers, and they're so freaking cute. I mean, these could be useful like like a Nintendo or a Sega style diorama. Like I could see one of these sitting in the background as Sonic's running by, or maybe even one of these, two of these observing a fight for Pokemon. I'm not a fan of Pokemon, but I figured these. I mean, if you could still find these are going to be. These can be useful, but I mean, like I said, these are seasonal things. So I don't know if it's still available in your store or not, but they're just so cool looking. I mean, they may not look like real bunnies, but still, kind of cool. Now, this right here I picked up also from the Dollar Tree. This is a cutting mat. I have no idea what the hell this thing is made out of. It's not made out of a silicone. It's not made out of a tough silicone like most cutting mats are. Here, let me see. No, this just says imported into the USA by Greenbrier. Okay, but it's a small, useful mat. It's something that seems like you can use like if you're on the go or if you need to cut something on the quick on the fly. You can use it. Now, these items over here are from the Family Dollar. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know this right here is the first thing I wanted to show you. Clothespins. I mentioned this before in chat. Now, to me, I figure that if you're going to be doing like a backyard diorama and you need to have like the clothing of an action figure hanging off the line, you can actually utilize these because I mean, look at it. These are pretty good scale. In fact, if you can use them with the ribbon here, or even yarn. I mean, in fact, I forgot to mention, in the hardware section, they got like balls of yarn that's like two different colors that you can grab. So they can be also used as rope. But this, I mean, this could be used like as like the, clothesline. And you can have your action figures hanging their clothes off of it using these small clothespins. I mean, they're just perfect for the size of like 8-inch figures, by the way it looks to me. But of course, like I said, I mean, that's completely up to you. I mean, it just seems like the kind of cool thing. Now, these right here are wooden tags and I've actually, by Painter's Palette, yeah. And of course, like I said, these are from the Family Dollar. Now, I figure these could be useful in some ways, because you never know when you need shapes. And they got, like, 2 each. Here, let me show you what I see. Now, like, for example, you can use this one, like, for, like, a picture frame. You'd have to cut out, like, the center portion of it. Or maybe you can even glue the picture onto it and then just sort of utilize some plastic to sort of build it up to make it look like it's two pieces in one. You can use these as signs, like for example, this one right here and this one right here, the circle and the square. You can create like you can use like these for like road signs, paint them and then have them like on a piece of on a popsicle stick and have it sitting on the side of what looks like a road, and you have like warning signs. And like I said, you get 2 each. You got like big, multiple sizes, multiple shapes, yeah, and I mean you can utilize these for whatever you might need them for. I mean, it's to me, I mean these I think were only $1 from the from the Family Dollar, and of course the clothespins were also $1 from the Family Dollar if memory serves me right. I'm sorry about that. My memory tends to be fuzzy sometimes. It's the drawback of being up during the night. Now, I got these from the Family Dollar as well. I think these were $2 each, but you get like 2 different sets of packs of brushes. You got the pointy ones from Painter's Palette. You got see these right here. You get multiple sizes, all pointy. Of course, these right here have various different brushes, including 2 of the smaller pointy brushes inside there as well. So you get a diverse pack of brushes that you may be able to use if you need to. Now these I'm going to sort of get to in a moment. I just wanted to show you this last bit, this right here, this wooden plaque, this rectangle plaque. I figured that maybe you can utilize it as like a base for one of your figures, like if you're not interested in building something for it. It's flat. You could probably add a design to it. You can probably etch in like wooden plank style etchings into it and have your Michael Myers figure sitting on it. Completely up to you. But it's useful. I mean, at least I think it's useful. It's hard wood. I think it might be plywood. Let me check real quick. Is it plywood? Yeah, yeah, it's plywood. I thought it might have been a solid piece of wood, but it's not. It's plywood. It's various different plies, but it's useful little item. I figure you could probably, find that useful if you need it. Now these, however, are, very interesting. I found these also at the Family Dollar. Now, I'm going to let you know I'm going to cover 2 packs. This first set, I don't know if the Family Dollar has them anymore. I haven't seen them there in months. I bought this like a few months ago. But these are, as you can see, food items. And these are, you got hamburger, drink, fries, a hot dog, and of course you have a piece of pizza. And the pizza, so thick you might as well end up just having to scratch build the pizza because the pizza isn't going to look normal. But these can be useful for like 6-inch action figures. The burger, and I mean, look at this. This hot dog looks like something that a 6-inch figure would eat. Maybe Deadpool probably would. Now, for me, this is actually kind of interesting here. The drink, it's rubber. The straw is rubber, but it's got a label on it that you can peel off. Here, see? And you can replace that label. And and of course you might have to paint that pink bit right there where the soda is, unless you want to have it there. Straw is removable, and I think maybe yeah. Hold on, you might have to use something stiff to do this, but I think the soda bit is removable. Okay. Yeah, the soda bit's removable, so you can pull it out and you can paint it so that way you not have to worry about messing up the cup. And you can slap on, after you reassemble it, you can slap on a different label. You can make it like a McDonald's cup, a Burger King cup, or even a Big Kahuna Burger cup if you want to make a Quentin Tarantino style reference. Like I said, I don't know if these are still available or not. I bought these months ago, so these may not be available in the store. However, these particular ones may not can be found on Amazon. There's like a pack of 40. Someone's selling a pack of 40 of them. But these are the real interesting ones for me. These are Sci-Fi based erasers, and basically it's only $1, and you get a UFO, 2 sci-fi ships, an alien, and a spaceman. These could be useful for like a man cave or kid's room. In fact, I could sort of imagine repainting that spaceman to be like the Nostromo, like a member of the Nostromo crew, because the suit looks close. But these can be like seen sitting on, on a shelf in a kid's room or whatnot.
Now this next set of ideas here are a little bit more pricey. These aren't like the dollars, like from the Dollar Tree or from the dollar stores, but these can be useful if you're interested. Now, as you can see, I've decided to break out my figure of H from Ready Player One. Of course, E is a G.I. Joe scale figure from Funko. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why'd you break this out? And what's with the small scale Millennium Falcon? Well, this right here, this Millennium Falcon, is it's from Galoob. And basically what this is a Star Wars micro machine. I'm sure you're familiar with micro machines. If you're not, but basically what they are is very small scale, small scale cars. They were even smaller than the Hot Wheel brand style vehicles. Now, of course, they became very popular in like the late 80s, early 90s. And basically they actually branched off into doing like various different space vehicle, sci-fi vehicles from both Star Wars and Star Trek. And this right here, this Millennium Falcon, is big enough to be a model or even a or even a toy replica of the Kenner style Millennium Falcon from the original Kenner line. And of course, the reason why I brought this out is because it's just to show you the idea behind it. Now, of course, I've looked at micro machines and on eBay. They don't go. They are not really cheap. In fact, I had to buy this right here. I had to pay roughly around $5 just to get it because I didn't have one. I mean, I had a whole bunch of Star Wars ones that I got as a part of a Star Trek set, a bulk deal kind of thing. But at Walmart, they have these. These are sort of like the micro machines, but they're not. These are Nano Hollywood Racers. They're produced by Jada, and they have like the Back to the Future trilogy, which you get like 3 different versions of the DeLorean. And of course, they also have others like the Batman. I think they have like the Batman kind from Batman Returns, where you get the Batmobile, the Penguins ride, and I think maybe a cop car. I don't know. But I do know they have a Fast and Furious line, which are basically small scale versions of the cars from throughout the franchise. Of course, I bought 2 of these, and I've already opened one up with the intention of using for a diorama. And here, let me break out the DeLorean from Time Machine from Part 1. Now, as you can see, it's pretty small. And even in compared to, of course, comparing it to the H figure, again, you know, it's G.I. Joe scale. It's like a pretty big, sizable figure, like vehicle in comparison. Now, of course, for like the other, but for the actual legit micro machines, they're actually much smaller, so they could be either like small scale toy cars or maybe car models that you can use for a diorama for G.I. Joe scale. But this is what it looks like. It's not very well done, painted and whatnot. In fact, I've actually got another micro machine style DeLorean that looks a little bit better than this. But this is still pretty good, and could be sitting on a shelf in a man cave diorama or kid's room. Completely up to you. But these cost about, like I said, a pack of 3 like this is basically $5. But it's at Wal-Mart, so it's in the die-cast aisle. Go check it out. For the micro machines, you can only find them on eBay right now. But I have heard rumor that the micro machine brand may be actually coming back. So I don't know if that's 100% true or not. But again, these could be useful for like your dioramas to like add stuff to the backgrounds of your your man cave dioramas if you want, or kids' room if you want to. It's completely up to you. And there you have it. Pretty much every single item that I've come across from the Dollar Tree. And hopefully, Rocco, that you may be able to utilize these, some of these as useful ideas for your dioramas. Like I said, these are ideas. I don't mind sharing them. Hopefully some of these items you may be able to find in the Dollar Trees near you, or even the Family Dollars near you if there's any, or maybe even at the Walmart if you're able to find them. Well, I need to go. I hope you have a great day and that things continue to go well on the other end of your computer screen. Peace.